Well, I think the only thing more depressing than an empty catnip container is watching Republicans destroy their own party and betray America, all in service of a narcissistic, oversized Oompa Loompa. So let's check in to see how Republicans embarrass themselves this week on today's episode of Repub Recap. So this week, in something that should have been impossible for anybody to screw up, when several social media executives were brought in to testify at a hearing for child safety online, Republican Senator Tom Cotton decided to pull a stunt straight out of an episode of South Park while questioning TikTok's CEO, Suji Chu.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in
asked-
Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in
Do
Singapore.
you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Are you Chinese? No, I'm from Singapore. But you work in China? No, I work in Singapore. But you have worked in China? No, I work in Singapore. Would you be able to point to China on a map? Yes. Fucking Chinaman! And later this week, we found out just how dangerous a sore loser Republican can be when 42-year-old Demetrio Trujillo pleaded guilty to 5 different federal charges and revealed that failed Republican state legislative candidate Solomon Pena hired him to carry out multiple drive-by shootings at the homes of several Democrats in Albuquerque, New Mexico after the election, which Pena claimed was rigged against him despite losing by almost 50 points. And in Republican Hollywood news, this week, washed-up former 90s Hercules actor Kevin Sorbo decided to get all sore, boat a 5-year-old picture of comedian Kathy Griffin holding up a plastic Trump head, saying, quote, "But conservatives are the extremists, right?" Well, I tell you what, that's a good point you got there, Kev. Say, how about we check in real quick and see what those local conservatives are up to this week?
Authorities say 32-year-old Justin Moan shot his father before decapitating him and using his head as a prop in a politically charged video posted online.
Uh-huh. Well, Kev, I'm not so sure about your self-awareness, but your timing is spectacular. And in a perfect example of where Republican propaganda networks' level of self-awareness are sitting these days, Newsmax decided to make the very Newsmaxy decision to bring on disgraced former Fox News anchor Ed Henry, who was fired over rape allegations and is currently facing a sexual assault lawsuit and revenge porn allegations, to give his opinion on the E. Jean Carroll settlement.
Penthouse, let's go to France, Bob, and let's spend all this money. And that doesn't sound like a victim. That sounds like someone who's enjoying this and is, sort of making fun of, taking Trump's money.
Something tells me this isn't the first time old Ed's tried using the "she sounded like she was enjoying it" excuse. But that wasn't the only mind-numbing dose of irony Newsmax was pumping out to its brainwashed viewers this week, because amongst the many insane right-wing conspiracies that have suddenly popped up surrounding Taylor Swift recently, Newsmax host Grace Kelly decided to drop this banger.
I kind of have a problem, though, with the hardcore Taylor Swift fans. They are totally over the top, worshiping this woman. Have you seen any of the pictures of her in concert? I wouldn't go myself. I don't do that kind of thing anymore. But I think what they call it is they're elevating her to an idol, idolatry. This is a little bit what idolatry, I think, looks like, and you're not supposed to do that. In fact, if you look it up in the Bible, it's a sin. So...
Yeah, Greg, you're not supposed to do that. And in other news, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, whose morals and ethics are about as well adjusted as his right eye, had the depositions in the whistleblower case against him abruptly halted by the Texas Supreme Court right before they were scheduled to take place on Thursday. And in what I'm sure is purely a coincidence, the ruling from the all-Republican court came only hours after Trump publicly called for the court to end the case. Hey, Orange Man, what's that you're always saying about an evil deep state pulling the strings from behind the scenes? Anyway, say, are you a Republican that's sick of always losing elections because of those pesky voters? Well, then Arizona's got just the thing you're looking for, because this week, Republican Senator Anthony Kern proposed a bill that would give the state legislature the power to appoint presidential electors regardless of who wins the popular vote. Because apparently the best way to stop election rigging is to make rigging elections legal. And then, bespectacled testicle disguised as a senator, Chuck Grassley, not so accidentally said the quiet part out loud when he opposed a $78 million child tax credit that would lift 400,000 children out of poverty.
Passing a tax bill that makes the president look good, mailing out checks before the election, means that he could be reelected and then we won't extend the 2017 tax bill.
Aw gee, which tax cuts might old Chucky be referring to? Probably ones that benefit poor and working class American families, right?
In 2017, he signed a $1.5 trillion tax cut bill, largely for the rich and corporations, a plan that gave lots of breaks to the rich, to corporations, and didn't stimulate the economy.
Oh, those tax cuts. Well, I can't exactly say I'm surprised, since you can probably already guess what House Republicans wanted in return for passing a bill to feed children.
The bill would restore expired tax breaks, allowing businesses to more quickly recoup the costs of domestic research and development, interest on business loans, and investment in equipment. Boeing, General Motors, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple are among the companies that stand to benefit.
And in yet another example this week of Republicans saying "F those damn kids" for the audacity of wanting, hold on, let me see here. Oh yeah, food. North Dakota Senator and Colonel Sanders wannabe Mike Wobama decided to say that kids going hungry in his state just kinda ain't his problem.
Yes, I can understand kids going hungry, but is that really the problem of the school district? Is that the problem of the state of North Dakota?
So yeah, just another perfect example of Republicans being all about pro-life, you know, until you're actually alive. And then, if you thought Trump was only losing court cases over here in the good old US of A, well, guess again, because this week he extended his marathon of legal losing overseas, when a judge in London dismissed his lawsuit against ex-MI6 agent Christopher Steele of the infamous Steele dossier that exposed Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. And I'm sure he'll find a way to somehow blame this on Biden, too. But determined not to be outdone by those hoity-toity tea drinkers over in the UK, back across the pond in America, not one, not two, but 10 Republican senators did some legal losing of their own, when the Oregon Supreme Court barred them from running for another term after they staged a weeks-long walkout to protest the policy agenda of the state's Democratic majority. So it seems like the next walkout they'll be doing will be walking over to the unemployment line. And in probably the most obvious legal news of the week, it was reported that former chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, Alan the Weasel Weiselberg, is negotiating with prosecutors to plead guilty for committing perjury during Trump's New York civil fraud case. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I, for one, am shocked that anyone connected to Donald Trump would ever lie under oath. Just so shocked. And if Trump supporters were curious where all that money they pissed away, donated, to Trump's Save America Super PAC ended up, they got their answer this week when the PAC made its FEC filing for the second half of 2023, where it was revealed that not only did $50 million go to paying his legal fees last year and $100,000 to paying Melania's stylist, but while Biden was actually out on the picket line with real union members, Trump spent $20,000 of his supporters' money to stage a fake union workers' rally at a non-union auto parts plant where random Trump supporters were given signs to hold that said "Union members for Trump." Gee, how could anybody ever call this guy a fraud? Anywho, hey, do you guys remember when Trump barely managed to squeak out a double-digit win over Nikki Haley in the GOP New Hampshire primaries? Well, this week, Biden obliterated his competition in South Carolina with a whopping 96% of the vote. So how about we take a quick look at how CNN chose to cover the two stories, shall we?
Trump dominates nomination race.
Biden's probably going to win.
Yup, no media bias detected there. And then later in the week, the Take Back Our Border convoy, which was basically just a bunch of drunk rednecks in RVs and pickups, finally arrived in Eagle Pass, Texas to stop the invasion at the border, where they quickly realized that the right-wing propaganda that they've been mainlining might not be as accurate as they thought.
It's not what I expected, but then again, I don't know what I expected. I can tell you it's not as bad as what I thought, so that's kind of eye-opening in itself too, yeah.
So upon discovering that there is no actual invasion, they proceeded to start fighting with each other instead.
Pedestrians have the right of way. Peaceful protest, huh? You're a violent thug. You're a violent thug. That's all you want. Jesse, watch out. This guy's trying to. You don't like God? Hey! You don't like Jesus? Hey! You can't touch me. Don't touch us! You're on camera. You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? Don't touch us! We will not be touched!
With one poor misguided soul having a mental breakdown at the side of the road after coming to the realization that not everybody in the convoy was there for the same reasons she was.
I was in the people's convoy, and what a fucking disappointment that ended up being. What a disappointment to find out that these people that you were with, they weren't like you. They didn't care about the country. They were a bunch of grifting motherfucking live streamers that wanted to make money.
Grifters, huh? Gee, I wonder what gave her that impression. With the most ironic part being that actual Eagle Pass residents say that they never felt unsafe in their neighborhood until the convoy rolled into town.
I've always felt very safe here. So you'd say it's a good place to raise your children. Today, downtown, was the first day that I felt unsafe just walking down the street in broad daylight.
And then, to cap off the week, in a story that I'll be making a separate video on later since it deserves more attention than I have time to give it in this video, House Republicans decided to not even bring a bipartisan border deal to a vote despite the fact that it gives them pretty much everything they've been demanding for years and is so good even the Border Patrol Union endorsed it. But instead, they proceeded to just spread a bunch of lies about it allowing for 5,000 migrants a day to cross the border, which isn't actually true, and in reality, they're just killing it because Trump wants something to campaign on against Joe Biden. Anyway, if you made it this far, why not help me out by clicking the like button once or twice? Wait, not twice. Once or 3 times. And if you like this video, then you might want to try checking out these other ones.